Hello and welcome to the CSF 3103 lab series. This is lab 6. So in this lab we're going to talk about Xplico. So first, what is Xplico? Xplico is an open source NFAT, so network forensics analysis tool. So the main goal of Xplico is to extract and reassemble or reconstruct captured network traffic. So, and then we know how to capture network traffic so far. We went over Wireshark and TCP dump, right? So you can capture network traffic using Wireshark, TCP dump, and netsniff-ng, right? So let's go now over the process of how to install Xplico. So here you can go to the terminal. Have to issue the command as sudo to run this command as root. Sudo apt get install Xplico. Have to enter the password. Let me in. Right, so you have to say yes, capital Y, enter. Again, here you have to make sure again you are connected to the internet. Okay, so the installation has completed. That's very fast. Let me clear the screen here. And now I have to check the status of the Xplico. I have to make sure that it's running, right? So I can go sudo service Xplico status. So, and then I can tell that Xplico is running. And so now we are good to go. So now that was task 1, okay, to install Xplico, and we did check the status of Xplico, and now it's running. Now what we can do is let's get the necessary pcap files. That's where we are going to use for this task here, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to get a file from the samples file, right? That's we're preloaded in Security Onion. So what we are going to do is we're going to create a new directory, and we're going to call it Xplico, and this directory should be in the ACT home directory, right? So now we are in the ACT homes directory. So mkdir, we're going to call it Xplico, capital X, right? So this is, guys, is just according to the lab here. So this is what we have done so far. The installation, we did check the status of the Xplico service, and it's running. Now here we're going to create a directory called Xplico in the ACT homes directory. Right, so that's here. Now we are going to copy this file called snort.log 136.2864.654, right, from the examples directory here, PNSM chapter 10 to the Xplico home directory, to Xplico directory that we have just created. All right, so let's do that. So CP, let me just copy it. All right, so OPT samples, then PNSM chapter 10, and then just so that was starting with log, I believe. Just go back here to the lab quickly. Snort that log. Alright, so again, this is match up to 28. 28 up to here. So 646. Let's go 6 and tap. Right, so that's it. We're going to copy that from here. From here to ACT, ACT Xplico. So we copied that. We do this here, ls Xplico. Then I see that file is node.log, the one we have just copied right here. All right. So then what we need to do now, we need to know how to access, which is task 2, how to access Xplico. All right. So we're going to go to the terminal. To the browser. Guys, every time we mention Chromium browser, this is the Chromium browser, okay, which is the default web browser of Security Onion. See here, it says Chromium. So to access Chromium, to access Xplico, you can do localhost colon, and the default port of Xplico is 9876, right? So let's go from 9 to 6, 9876, enter. So the default username and password for Xplico is Xplico, right? Enter, or just hit login. So now this is the interface of Xplico here. All right. So then we have to move to the next part, to the next task, which is task number 3, how to upload, how to create a case, and then how to create a session in Xplico. Okay, so in this task 3, after we have logged in successfully to Xplico, what we are going to do, we are going to create a new case. All right, we're going to create a new case, then we're going to create a new session, right? And then we're going to upload the pcap file that we have just copied to our Xplico directory, right? So we're going to create a new case, of course, because we have to upload the pcap file, that's the capture file. We can upload one or more than one at the same time, all right? So we are not going to use live acquisition. That's we're going to use it later on this lab, right? So we're going to name our case lab 6, and external reference is headquarter, that's HQ, and then you're going to create that. Then after that, this is the case. Inside the case, we're going to create a new session. After you click here on the case name that you just created, then new session, and we're going to name our new session lab 6-pcap1. You're going to create it, hit create. Then we are going that the session, now the session is created. After that, we're going to upload the file that we have just copied to our Xplico directory. So let's just go to security onion and do this. So you're going to create we don't have cases. See, if I click, we don't have any, but later if you click here, you're going to see the list of all the cases that you have created. So new case, right? Because we're gonna upload a pcap captured file. So here we're gonna name it lab 6, and then the external reference is HQ. So you can just use anything that descriptive, where you can easily identify the external reference. So you're gonna hit create. Now our case has been created. So we're going to click on the case, and then we're going to create a new session. We don't have any sessions. If we do, it's going to list here under this case. All right, so we're going to create a new session. We're going to name it. So according to the lab, the name would be lab 6-pcap1. Let me just go quickly here to make sure. Yeah, lab 6-pcap1. There's no dash. pcap1. And hit create. Now the session has been created. I'm going to click here on the session name. Here, just go up here. We need to choose the file that we would like to upload. Right? If you look here now, all the fields here, they are showing 0, right? Because nothing has been reconstructed or reassembled now yet. All right, so I'm just going to hit choose file. Then we are going to go to Xplico. That's the directory we created, and this is the file we copied. Right? You can just double click on it or highlight it and just say open after that. All right, so just gonna double click on it. All right, you see sometimes Xplico does this. You see, the file has not been selected yet, right? So we did not choose it, did not choose the file. For some reason, Xplico does that, so be careful. I'm going to repeat the same step here. Just going to say choose, double click on it. You see, until you see it here. So because Xplico it refreshes itself. Like say now, if I wait a little bit, it will disappear from here. So I'm just going to upload, and now here it says file uploaded, because it says start decoding. So wait for that until it says completed here. and here the status says empty. Okay, so you see here Xplico just refreshed and it says decoding completed. So now here, as we know that Xplico does reconstruct and reassemble captured file, right? So and then it group them into these fields here, like say HTTP, MMS, emails. If the captured file has some emails, is going to put them here so that from the dashboard you can quickly uh, know what it has been reassembled or reconstructed. Right. So here now in HTTP there are 12 get. We know what's get and post, right? Those are the methods of the HTTP. So here we can tell that nothing has been posted to the server, right, to the web server, but there are 12 get methods. So that means someone accessed the server to retrieve some information from the server. Here there are no videos, no images, right? We don't have these on this captured file. Other capture files, you might have all the fields or most or the majority of the fields are populated, right? So here we have the no DNS. Here we have one server, ARP, this number of ARP. So it's 1141 ARP. There is no ICMP version 6. We know what's ARP. ARP is the Address Resolution Protocol. That's where it maps IPs with MAC addresses, right? Here, if we go down here, we see the undecoded. Here we have this number. So that's the text flows. 26/98. So if we need to access these, for example, we can come over here and decode it. See TCP-UDP. We have these here. So if you noticed here, we have some destination IPs with a red color, like this one, and this one here too, right? So the captured destination IPs, the destination IPs that are captured are colored in red. So these here, that means some information has been captured and this destination IPs. That's why they are colored in red. All right. So if I click here, for example, because these ones you cannot click on them, only on the red. See here, I can click here and I can click here and here. So here, if I click here, I get more information because these destination IPs are captured. So let me go back. And if I go here now, let me go over all these here. So cases. If I can go here, it will show me all the cases, but now I have only one case. Here's the sessions. It will show me the sessions, but I have created only one session right now. It's going to show me that session. Here under graphs, we have these. We have the DNS information. We have ARP, address resolution, ICMP version 6, and the geomap, right? Like if I go here to ARP, we don't have any DNS, right? Because we saw that from the main dashboard of Xplico. But we have ARP. We have ARP address resolution protocol. You see here, this IP address here, 192.168.3.1 is associated with this MAC address. You see, that's what the ARP is, right? Address Resolution Protocol. So here, if they ask you any questions, they can give you an IP address. They say what is the associated MAC address with this IP, so you can, or what is the associated IP address with this MAC address, right? The given MAC address, you can also answer these questions here. If you're gonna come here, so these are the sites. So if you have the web, so these are the site here. So we have these, right? You can see also here if there are any images, if there are any flash, videos, audios, and JSON, and you can show all. Here we are just showing the web URLs. That's with the HTML, right? HTML. So again here, images, it does not show us any images from the main dashboard, but again, other captured file or pcap files that you might upload with a lot of images. So email here again, email and webmail, if there are any in the captured image, in the captured file, is going to show over here. VoIP, so that's for the voice over IP, right? That's a SIP here, session initiation protocol, and all these here. If there any phone conversation that has been captured, it will show over here, right? So here now, these are the share. If you share any file using FTP or using any of these here, the printer and all these is going to show over here as well. So we can tell here there's some FTP sessions that has been captured in this pcap file, and you can get the information from here as well. So here you can see the number of files that has been uploaded and downloaded. So there is no, but there is an access to these FTP servers, or FTP sessions has been created, right? Using, this is the user here, and you can get also more information by clicking on the URL. Right, so here the chat, have these like MSN, Facebook, Yahoo, WhatsApp, WhatsApp messages if it has been captured in the pcap file. All right, so that's it about this task, and then we're gonna continue to the next task. So here in task 4, there are some files that we need for the rest of this lab. So there are 3 files that we need to get from BBlearn, right? So if I go back here to BBlearn and then course labs, here under lab 6, these are the 3 labs that we would like to get into security onion. So we're going to do the same thing that we have done before in the previous lab, lab 5. We're going to email these 3 files to ourselves, and then open the email in security onion and download these to the Xplico directory. All right, so here you cannot send these 3 files in one email, because due to the email attachment limitations. All right, so send this one. This one is a compressed file, pcap file. Send this one first, and these 2 you can send in one email. All right, so that's what I have done, and then I open my email, and if I come here, I'm inside now. My current working directory is Xplico. If I do ls, I would see these are the 3 files that I have emailed to myself and downloaded them into the Xplico folder. All right, so you see here the red one, this is the compressed one. This is the compressed one here. All right, so now I need to uncompress this one here because it's a GZ, right? Format. That's a Linux compressed format. So I'm just going to use the gun zip to decompress it. All right. So lab6.pcap.gz. All right. So here now, if I do ls again, I should see the file is already decompressed. So this is task 4, what you need to do. And then here in task 5, we're going to create a new session because we already have a case, right? So we're going to create a new session in our existing case, call it lab6br, and we're going to upload this file to the Xplico, the one that we just decompressed. If I go here now to Xplico, so this is our case, right? Just gonna go here, and then I'm gonna go do a new session, and my new session would be lab 6br, right? So that's it. Create. So I'm then gonna go in lab 6br, and I'm going to upload the pcap file that we decompressed, which is the first one here. And to upload. So now file uploaded, and we are wait start decoding, right? It's decoding right now. So now while waiting for this, I will go back to the lab. Here, then we need to answer these questions. All right. So we need to answer all these questions. Here in each question, you do have a keyword. That's where to click. You know, Xplico, if you practice enough, then immediately when you read the question, you get a keyword and then you know where to click, right? So here it's asking about MAC address, right? Your keyword is the MAC address. They're asking what is the IP address that's associated with this MAC address. So we need to look for a tab or where to click that is give us both information. So that means because we have a given MAC address, so we need to find the IP address associated with it. So that if you use your network skills, that be the ARP, right? ARP. So now here is completed. We see here these are the fields that populated again. If you look here, there are more uh, data that has been reconstructed in this pcap file than the previous one, right? So here again, if I go here, graphs, ARP, then this is where we have our IP addresses associated with the MAC addresses and vice versa, right? So they can give you this IP address, any IP address, and then they say what MAC address is associated with that, or an MAC address, and you can find the IP address associated with it, right? So, all right, so and then you can answer the rest of the questions right here. Okay, here for task 6, we're going to reassemble a captured session initiation protocol. So that's SIP. It's a voice protocol that we're going to use Xplico to reassemble or to reconstruct that pcap file. So we're going to create a new case. We already have one new case, and we had 2 sessions, right? So now we're going to create another new case and one session, a new case called SIP1, an external reference phone call, and the session name inside this case SIP1 would, the name would be lab 6 dash session, right? So let's do that. So here we had our previous case, right? So this is under cases. If you click here, you're going to see only that. Now we're going to create another case, and this case would be, as the name would be SIP1, right? And the external reference is a phone dash call, right? So and then you're going to hit create. Now we have our new case. We're going to click on it, and then we're going to create a new session. We don't have any session in this case, so we're going to create new session, and the new session name will be lab 6 dash session, lab 6 dash session. Right. So you're going to hit create, and you see it's empty. We have to click on it, and then we can upload our file. So the file, the pcap file that we're going to upload is called lab6sip1.pcap, which is just right. The one that we downloaded from our email, right? And we put it in the Xplico folder. So this is it here. And then you're gonna hit upload and wait till the pcap file is decoded. Right, again, you can see that all the fields here are 00, right? So since this one is a SIP voice over IP, and we are going to see here under the SIP, we should see some numbers, and we already see that's 2 over here, right? Because this is a phone call data has been captured, right, in a pcap file. And if we go over here, VoIP, then we go SIP, we already see these two here. The first one has a duration of 00, so that means maybe this someone called, nobody answered, right? So that's here. And the second one, it has a duration of 19 seconds, right? So, and then if you're familiar with voice over IP and the session initiation protocol, voice over IP, because it's over an IP protocol, right? You see, like, this is the phone number 555551212 at, this is the voice over IP server or the call manager or something. So, but this is the phone number, and add this voice over IP call manager, right? So here again, this is the SIP, this is the extension now, right? It's coming from this phone number, add this server to this extension 6580, add this server, and this is the phone call. If you click here, you see here, they say this plugin is not supported because it needs Flash to play this, right? So if you click here, play, for example, click here, and this play, you see, this plugin is not supported, right? So it's not, you cannot play it if you manage, because Flash is outdated, right? Anyway, even in Windows and all these here, Adobe, they're not supporting it anymore. But there is a way to play this, right? Here, I have put the link in the lab, right? And all these here, why you cannot play these here. If you go to https pcap2wave.xplico.org, this one here, and then let's see if we can play that pcap file, right? So from here, can go to the web browser. Let me just get that down a little little bit here. Here, go to the web browser, and I type HTTP. Oops, sorry, it's not here because again we don't have Flash in um, the security on it. So I'm going to go here to my laptop. This is my laptop. So I'm going here, and then I can go over here, and I go HTTPS colon slash slash. It's that again here. Pcap to wave, right? WAV. So pcap to wave .xplico.org. Alright, so go here. Then I'm gonna hit create a new session. Create a new session, right? So because you already have this file also downloaded to your local machine, right? From your email. Remember, from your email you can download this to your to a new folder in your local machine, and then I'm gonna hit add. Right, so I have it here. This is my SIP1, right? So lab6 SIP1.pcap. So I'm gonna hit open. So once you just hit open, it's very simple and it's straightforward. So you have now the pcap file has been reassembled or reconstructed, and you can play these ones here, right? If I hit just say click on it, download it, double click on it.
So this is from reflex to the phone. Sounds horrible. And back direction is really good. Okay.
So this is the pcap file. So I'm just going to close it now, and I'm going to delete these right here, and gonna go back here to the lab, right? So these are the steps that I just did. Now task here, they're asking you a question. You have to answer this. So here after you do task 7, so try do it yourself. Try to play lab 6 SIP2. So try to do that, the same steps here, by going here, add. So this is it here. I have downloaded here. It's 2. Right, so I'm just going to play it again here, download it and play it.
Your call is very important to us, but your sanity is not. So we will be happy to keep you on hold forever, torturing you with our annoying hold music.
Okay, so that's it. I'm going to close this one too here, and this would be task number 7. So in this task 8 here, we're going to do live acquisition. We're going to capture some live data using the data acquisition, which is going to be live, right? So here it's the same thing, and it's we don't have in this task here to a pcap file to upload, but we are going to capture the live traffic, all right? So here we're going to create a new case called lab6 live, and then external reference LA, that's a live acquisition. We're going to create that, and then we're going to create a session. In this case, we're going to call it lab6 LA, all right? The most important thing is you have to select the correct or the right interface, all right? The correct interface, because in this virtual machine, of security onion, we have multiple ones, right? We have the loopback, we have the Docker, and we have the Ethernet 0, right? So here we're going to capture the traffic. Okay, we're going to acquire the data in the interface Ethernet 0, and then we're going to hit start, and then we can access any website, right, to capture the data. In this case here, we're going to open the web browser, the Chromium and Security Onion, and we're going to go to CNN, www.cnn.com, and then that's where we're going to capture the traffic, all right? And then we can answer a lot of questions from there, or we can start our investigation. All right, so let's do that. Here, these are the cases that we have created so far, which we are going to create a new case. Again, we're going to select now live acquisition. Here we're going to call it lab 6 life, lab 6 life, and the external reference is LA. That's a live acquisition, stands for that. And we're gonna click on the case, and we're gonna create a new session, and the new session will, we call it lab 6 LA. So lab 6 LA. We're gonna create that, and we're gonna click here on the new session, and here we are going to select our interface, right? You see we have all these here, including the virtual interfaces. All right, we're going to select Ethernet 0, then we're going to hit start, and I'll go here to the browser, to the web browser, and we're going to go to www.cnn.com. Now I can go back to Xplico to see that here we have captured some traffic here in the DNS and all this here. It's refreshing and it's getting more. So because here you see it's listening at interface Ethernet 0. It's okay now. Kind of stop that. It's enough. And you see that's 114. Now I can go here to graphs, DNS. For sure I have a lot of DNS information here. And if I go down here, you see there are about 8 pages of information that has been captured. And the beauty thing about this here, you can filter or you can search for what you're looking for. So because we went to the CNN and we're interested about the CNN traffic, I can just go here CNN and hit go. Then it's going to just search and give me a result for everything that's involved for CNN, right? So here you can find also the other domains, host names, and the CNAMEs, right? So you guys study CIN 2003, you know what the CNAME is, right? And you can get more information from here, and you can also get the pcap here of this, right? So that's it about this lab here. They're asking you all one question about the CNN IP address, and you can get it from these DNS information. And do not forget to answer these questions here. So now you have a pretty good idea about Xplico and what Xplico is and how powerful Xplico and how it differs from Wireshark. I hope this has been informative, and I would like to thank you for viewing.